make a YouTube video. What's popular with the kids these days? Nostalgia. Ruining childhood. So let's clickbait some of that goodness. But we're not going to talk about mainstream stuff, no. We're going obscure. So there are two things that I'm really interested in. Animation and toys. I don't have any animation with me because it's a non-corporeal concept, but I do have toys. Let's see, look at this. This is a toy. This is a toy. Toys behind me, toys. I like toys. And you know what they used to do with toys a lot? Make them into TV shows, because that sells more toys. But the thing about making the toy first and then the cartoon is that you kind of have to center your writing around like marketing your toy and getting all the accessories and stuff in there. So it can get weird. Like especially in the 80s and the 90s, it got so weird. And that is the case with P.J. Sparkles. P.J. Sparkles, shine a light on me, shine, shine. So in the late 80s, Mattel made a line of dolls called P.J. Sparkles. It had a pretty simple gimmick. You hugged her and she would light up. Yes, it is a good thing to smother your child. As long as it's with love. Nobody will ever take that out of context. And then in 1992, they made what was clearly a pilot for a P.J. Sparkles TV series starring Jodie Benson, aka the Little Mermaid, as P.J., and Robbie Benson, no relation, aka the Beast, as her talking horse.
Just go with it, kiddo. It takes too long to explain.
But then at some point, somebody took a look at it, and they were just like, no. Let's not, no. So they just repackaged it as a VHS tape that came with the doll. Because we gotta try and make back that whole $2 of animation we spent. So how do you make an entire TV show premise out of a toy whose only attributes are its shiny accessories and love?
Love, 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 love.
The answer? You make her a god.
Shining with true love.
The story starts with PJ living at Mrs. O'Malley's unnecessarily Irish orphanage, which apparently owns a horse. Why does an orphanage own a horse? Like, surely there are things the kids want more than pony rides. Food, clothes, also, you know, parents.
Why doesn't anyone adopt me, Mrs. O'Malley? Won't I ever have a last name?
And one night, PJ sneaks out to ride this irresponsible use of government funding horse because she wants to
make a wish on a star. Still wishing for someone to love.
And Mrs. O'Malley is totally okay with this. Doesn't even offer to come with her for supervision. Just lets her go. Just lets a child go out on a horse at night alone. So after singing a really trite song, because casting Jodie Benson and then not having her sing is literally throwing away money.
What I want from you is your voice.
She wishes on the star and gets magically transported to another dimension. I should make a comment about how weird that is, but that's actually quite standard for 80s and 90s cartoons. So PJ ends up on another plane of existence called Twinkletown, where there's just an entire village of children. No explanation for how they got there, where their parents are, why there's no adults around except the villains. And by the way, they're the most like mediocre children's cartoon level of villains. Like their character designs aren't even consistent with each other. Come on, guys. So apparently, just like PJ wished for someone to love, the children of Twinkletown wished for someone to love them. And the magical wishing star was like, hey, I've got a stone and I can kill 2 birds. So rather than just find them all parents, the wishing star has made PJ into their leader. And by leader, I mean God. See, now that PJ has been granted the wishing star's magic, Her power is almost limitless as long as she uses the verb love when making requests. And like, I'm not exaggerating. She straight up manipulates someone's emotions later.
I'd really love it if you'd forgive him. Hey, sure, no problem.
So despite not actually doing anything besides giving a couple of kids names, really, at no point did any of you think to refer to each other as something other than, hey, you. Within 5 minutes of being there, she has made life in Twinkletown so much better that the wishing star also gives her a new job. Children's Terrible Lives Fixer-Upper. So PJ immediately leaves Twinkletown and goes back to Earth to help some kid who has trouble making friends. So while PJ is trying to get it through to this kid that the best way to make friends is to not be a total D-bag, the villains go about spraying the residents of Twinkletown with this evil potion that'll make them mean because complex motivations are for things that did not get made on a $5 budget. And when PJ goes back to deal with this, she discovers her powers are fading because she literally needs love to survive now.
You are P.J. Sparkles. You live on love.
What even? You can chalk up the Inexplicable Horse and the Trip of Rainbow Bright meets Lord of the Flies as just not thinking about implications because we're focusing on the whimsy, but they straight up wrote it into the show that she can die if not enough people love her. This is some Peter Pan bullshit. But luckily, that one kid from earlier still loves her, so that saves her life, even though it took like a dozen children to nearly kill her in the first place. Consistency! So PJ gets her powers back and makes everyone good again, and the day is saved. And this is clearly supposed to be a happy ending, but it's really not. Even putting aside all the child god stuff. Remember Mrs. O'Malley? From our perspective, PJ just had a whimsical adventure. From her perspective, she let a child that she was legally responsible for leave in the middle of the night, and that child didn't come home. For all she knows, PJ is lying dead in a ditch somewhere.
When Mrs. O'Malley said something extraordinary was waiting for me, I wonder if this is what she meant.
And that is why PJ Sparkles is messed up. I have a feeling I know why they didn't greenlight this into a series.
I'm PJ Sparkles, I light up your world with love.
In the early 2000s, they actually reissued the toy line, albeit they were miniature dolls rather than baby dolls. And I actually quite like these versions. Like, they're cute. I would buy them. I really, really wish they had rebooted the TV series as well, because either they would have to try and fix this mess, or they would somehow make it weirder. Fun fact, I didn't realize until I started making this video that the reason she's called PJ is because the toys, both the old versions and the new, have a sub gimmick where you can turn her dress into a nightgown. Get it? Pajamas, PJs, PJ Sparkles. We're not going to talk about Disney or Dawn Bluth or there's a magpie outside. What are the kids are into these days? What are the kids? English. I keep looking into the viewfinder. It's so hard. It's so hard. Yep, we hear you. We hear you, bud. Oh my god, why are you circling my house? Nobody has committed crimes here. Except crimes of fashion. There's another magpie. Oh, he's so cute. Oh, I just want to go feed him. Oh, magpies. They're so cute. Oh, my hair looks good at this angle. Just like the rest of me. And